Mia had always loved the old Victorian house that she had inherited from her grandparents. She had always been drawn to its dark, mysterious beauty and the sense of history that surrounded it. But as she began to settle into her new home, she started to notice strange occurrences. She would hear strange noises coming from the walls, and she would see shadows moving in the corners of her eyes. Mia tried to brush it off as her imagination, but the occurrences became more frequent and terrifying. She started to feel like she was being watched, and she could sense a presence in the house that made her uneasy. She decided to do some research on the history of the house and discovered that it had been built in the late 1800s by a wealthy businessman named Robert. Robert had been a cruel and abusive man, and it was rumored that he had murdered his wife and children in the house. As she delved deeper into the history of the house, Mia uncovered something even more sinister. Robert had been a practitioner of dark magic and had used the house as a place to perform his rituals. It was said that he had summoned an ancient ghost, who had consumed his soul and remained in the house to this day. Mia knew that she had to do something to stop the ghost from tormenting her. She contacted a spiritual advisor, who performed a ritual to banish the ghost and cleanse the house of its negative energy. The ritual seemed to have worked, and the occurrences in the house stopped. Mia finally felt like she could relax in her home. But she knew that the ghost was still there, waiting for its next victim. Years passed, and Mia never forgot the horrors of the haunted house. She never spoke of it again, but the memory of the ghost's terror remained with her, a constant reminder of the power of the past and the dangers of the unknown. Mia thought that the ghost had been banished and the house was cleansed of its negative energy, but she was wrong. The ghost was still there, waiting for the right moment to strike. As time went by, Mia started to notice that things were disappearing from the house. Small items at first, like keys or jewelry, but as days passed, larger items such as furniture and antiques vanished. She knew that something was wrong, but she couldn't explain it. One night, Mia was awakened by a loud noise coming from the attic. She got up to investigate and found that the door to the attic was open, and she could hear something moving inside. She cautiously climbed the stairs, and as she reached the top, she was confronted by the ghost of Robert, the former owner of the house. The ghost revealed that he had been using her possessions to fuel his dark magic, and he needed more to continue his rituals. He had been manipulating her, making her think that the house was safe, but it was all a trap. Mia knew that she had to escape the house and find a way to stop the ghost once and for all. She gathered all her courage and ran out of the house, never looking back. She contacted the spiritual advisor who had performed the ritual before, and together they came up with a plan to banish the ghost for good. They returned to the house and performed a powerful ritual, calling upon the spirits of the ancestors to aid them. The ritual was intense, and the ghost fought back with all its power. But in the end, the spirits of the ancestors were able to banish the ghost back to the underworld, and the house was finally cleansed of its negative energy. Mia returned to the house, and she could feel a sense of peace. She knew that the ghost was gone for good, and she could finally relax in her home. She sold the house, and moved on with her life, but she would never forget the experience, and she would always remember the power. If you like this video, please give it a like and share. Subscribe the channel for more amazing stories.